Alrighty then. I just got back stealing candy from my aunt's house after taking care of their dogs. Now I have Mexican gum, and I have like 3 different colors. 2 of them I realize are the exact same, and I'm wondering if maybe I'm colorblind.
Is this where all this candy came from?
Yes. I also have Smarties, and I just polished off one of the little packets. Now I got another one. So while we're doing tonight's episode on Night Court Narrative with me, Aqua, and
Elvish, hi.
Hi, yeah.
There was so much pressure to say my name there. I was like, why is he stopping?
Well, you have to introduce yourself.
Well,
This is a book podcast.
You didn't give me time. I freaked out. Hi, I'm Elvish.
We're professional podcast peoples. I don't know what podcasters? Isn't that technically what we're called now? Podcasters?
We are. Well, we're podcasters and streamers.
And streamers, yeah.
Content creators? Do you just call us content creators?
Yeah, I guess that works technically. We make content.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We're content creators now.
Man, you heard my ice all the way through my microphone, and now the viewer, I need you to rate my ice movement on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, place it down in the comments. If you do, I'll send you a piece of Mexican gum.
Unopened?
Anyways. Aqua. I made these let me chewed.
Cool. Cool.
Alright, I have Smarties in my mouth. I love Smarties, alright? I'm getting into the Spooktober season.
Anytime.
Like, a second packet of Smarties.
Anytime Aqua asks me a question or an open-ended question, I'm gonna just be like, a call. Oh my god. Today
I'm just
though.
excited.
Yes.
I'm eating sweets for a very sweet, but what I considered a very sweet book. I've actually really enjoyed a lot. And to be honest, I like this book. I like this book. This book is good.
So the funny, before we actually get started, the funny thing about this book was completely left field. I knew nothing about it. I didn't know what genre it was. I didn't know anything about it. I only knew that it was fall related. And of course, you know, for the fall, we decided to do fall books. So I actually suggested this book, not knowing what to expect. He went along with it, and now it's one of, like, I guess the favorite books that we've done so far.
Definitely. Even though I pretty much always go, like, no information about the book, that's how I pretty much always do things anyway. So basically, you just pulled an Aqua.
Yeah. But today, we have The Only Purple House in Town by Anne Aguirre. Aguirre?
Yeah, Anne Aguirre.
Anne Aguirre?
Anne Aguirre. Not Anne Aguirre, Anne space Aguirre. Yeah.
Okay.
This is actually a really good book. I enjoy this book so much.
I did until the end. And I know we'll discuss that, but this book is so, how do I say it? Like, I don't want to say catchy, but like this book will keep you hooked. Like, at least it did for me. Like, I was hooked. So unfortunately with me, like, I do work a full job, as does Aqua. So, and I can't read my book at work. So this week was so extra busy. I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to listen to the audiobook this time. I listened to the audiobook, and before I even knew it, it was like chapter 18. I'm like, excuse me?
It is a very short book. I actually wanted more.
So the surprising part is the book is almost 400 pages long. It is not that short. Yeah, it is actually not that short.
Oh, man.
It's not the longest ones because you and I are used to reading like 1,000-page books. It's not the longest, but it is not that short of a book, actually.
Really? Huh.
It was just that good, right? It was just that good. You didn't even notice.
But then again, we do listen at minimum 1.5 speed, so it does cut a lot of time, more than we realize.
Yeah.
But still, though, it's still pretty short because even like some of the big words like the Akatar series. I mean, even when we listened or read it, we still read it fairly quickly, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. I agree to that.
audible wise, or like audio wise, you know, now that we've gotten more, I think I kind of like Avatar pretty much, and Fourth Wing kind of got us used to listening to books, so that's why we can do it so easily. Because I think I
Yeah.
started upping my speed a little bit.
Same.
I think now I'm like I think like 1.75 now, but
That
I
is
could
insane.
a little bit lower, only because like sometimes the reader, or like the speaker or whatever, I guess speaker reader, um does not do a long enough pause, so it almost
Yeah.
sounds like it's a run-on sentence, and I'll be like, you know,
Yeah.
I get like so confused. But this book was so good. I liked it. It was actually like a sitcom, and it was very woke.
Yeah.
It was very woke too, which I did not expect, and it wasn't in a bad way. Most woke stuff that can kind of get pretty cringy and gets a little, you know, kind of like, okay, well, this is kind of killing the mood a bit. No offense to woke people. Well, I hope not, but no, this book was woke, but not like overly. You know, they didn't pay attention. They didn't focus on that part. They focused on what was going on in the story,
Right.
if that makes sense. Mostly because the reason why I say that, because a lot of stuff like I like listened to or read that has to do with things about being woke and things like that tends to focus way too much on that. Sure, I get
Right.
it's important, you know, for you know, I get it's important for some people, for you know, for circles out there, but I mean, I'm here for the book. So, and this book did a good job of just keeping it to the book. Still has the wokeness in there, sure, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But I
And
really enjoyed the book, and I enjoyed the world. I can go on forever. I enjoyed the world setting too, modern age, with pretty much the supernatural and trying to coexist.
yeah.
But yeah, I really like. I have a lot that I can say about this book. Loved it. It's very relatable for the most part.
It actually very much
And,
is. It is very relatable, and I really enjoyed that. I think
Yeah.
though, I think your excitement is taking a turn. Um, so give me 2 seconds to catch everyone up because you
Yeah, that's
completely,
what I had, wasn't
yeah,
I?
you completely just left myself and the viewers just completely at the gas station. I'm just like, bro, like he's gonna be back for us eventually. Don't worry.
I'm over here just talking, you know, talking to y'all in the back seat. I look back, I'm like,
Hello?
where'd the kids go? Ah, shit. Gotta drive all the way back.
Right.
Sorry,
Like I'm
kid.
over here trying to like tell them it's gonna be okay as I'm nervous that you're never gonna come back for us.
You just see me come back, you know, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift soundtrack playing in the background, so I just drift back. Good on, guys. So I got
YouTube's like
excited.
copyright.
Copyright strike. Banned. No, I think got really excited because it's a good read. It's a good read. It really is a fun read.
So I mean, there's really not much to tell. I mean, we basically have a relatable 28-year-old girl. She, you know, we say relatable because God, it's just she has her hobby as her job. It's not going well. She's unable to make rent. Like she's so anxiety induced and whatever. She ends up getting her great aunt Gertie's house, or like the estate.
The old Victorian
Yeah.
house. Yeah.
She gets it left for her after her great aunt Gertie passes. Also, I do apologize if at any point in this I accidentally say girthy.
Girthy. That's great.
Our fat ass dog is named Gertie, and because of her weight recently, I call her Gertrude, and her name is Girthy.
Gertrude.
So I do
my God.
apologize. She's a big ass dog. You can barely fit through the doggy door. And then she
That's
turns
amazing.
around when you start laughing. She turns around like she's offended. Like, bitch, you did this to yourself. I limit you to like literally the correct portion of food. I don't know how she got so big. Whatever. I digress.
I'm pretty sure she's opening up the fridge and I'd be like, that's a week old ham.
That's probably why my fridge is always empty.
Probably. It's all Girthy's fault.
But anyway, she gets this like old Victorian, beautiful house from Great Aunt Gertrude. And even though obviously the house is already paid off, she kind of wants to make a living. So she ends up going out, looks for roommates, finds a couple of them, charges them rent. Long story short, they end up helping her fix up the house, and she takes some of that money off of their rent. And we find out at the end of the book, spoiler alert, obviously you know us, that she is not a vampire like the family she thought she was with. She was actually basically switched at birth intentionally, and she is Fae.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what the book is about.
Originally, because her name, the protagonist was Iris Hollins, and so yeah, pretty much she was bad news bear, or like the black sheep of the family of vampires. And not just your typical, like, I'm gonna suck your blood type of vampires. I'm gonna suck your negative emotions and make you feel better. And they were a bunch of assholes.
Oh,
Except
they
for
were
one.
assholes.
Except for one. One was good. One was like, when they found out that she's not even a part of their family, all of them except for like one and the dad were like, deuces, bitch. Pretty much.
Right? No, like they left her almost immediately. Like left her in like quite shambles. Like it was horrible.
And this is such a crappy way of trying to be like, oh, we should talk about this. You know, and one of the sisters was like super happy. It's like, oh yeah, you know, I got your ex-boyfriend now.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, now we don't have to worry when you're related. Aisha, blah blah blah. She's such a bitch. Except for one who's more reclusive than the others will be like, I don't care what any piece of paper or blood work say, you are my sister.
Yeah.
And so I like that. But they were psychic vampires. That's what they are. Psychic vampires. And she is, like I said, like you said, spoiler alert, she ends up being Fae. Because the two progenitors, I guess you can say, because in the book, they don't reproduce, you know, with the brown, you know, way that they normal people do. You know, they just be like, I'm gonna think about it. Instantly, a baby. So, at least that's how explained.
Yeah.
It sounds a lot funnier that way, too.
So, I know this book has a lot of really good stuff, and I know Aqua's gonna go on a 2-hour tangent about everything that's good with the book. So,
at
minimum. So I'm gonna start with the parts that I did not quite like about the book. Now, do not get me wrong. I enjoyed this book thoroughly until maybe like chapter 20. Like chapter 24. It was like there's 27, 28 chapters. The final, like basically the ending, just it wasn't it. It kind of ruined the book for me, and I had to knock off almost an entire star rating from it. It's fine. However, one thing I did not like is, I'm assuming, or this is at least how I got it, or like how I perceived it, the author tried to switch up POVs mid-chapter, so we would be talking about like Iris and everything. So everything's in third person, by the way. So it's not I did this, I'm doing this. It's Iris went to the store. Iris opened that, you know what I mean? So
or she did this, or he did that. Sort of thing. Right.
So it would be mid-chapter. It was like an Iris sat down for a cup of coffee, and then barely a pause later, Eli walked out the front door, and you're just like, wait, hold up. Who the fuck is Eli? Hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up. So
yeah, in the very beginning, it took a second to like,
so
that's how they do it. So half the chapter is one person, the other half is the other, I guess, main protagonist, the secondary protagonist, which is Eli Reese.
But they don't do it in like the icebreaker kind of like ACOTAR. Like they don't do it in the like one chapter is this person, the next chapter is that person. It's literally like not even a page break. Like I was looking at my book to try and see if maybe the reader was doing it weird. Like they don't even like break the chapter. It's just immediately one paragraph. We're talking about one, and then the next paragraph we're talking about the other, and it was very confusing at the beginning, but once you got used to it, it was okay.
Yeah, it took a second, but yeah. But you know what I realized it now that you mention it? It reminds you of ADD, and what's funny is that the main protagonist has that. So I
Yeah.
think maybe the book was just channeling the protagonist.
Oh, probably.
You know, immersion for the most part.
And then the only other thing I did not like about the book personally, it's towards the end. Like I said, the final few chapters just did not resonate with me. I did not like them. It was very so. This sounds bad, but I don't mean this in a bad way. Chapter 1 through 20 was the exact same story. It was really good. It was very slow, but like in the perfect amount of slowness. It was nice. You were getting to know everyone. We had laughs. We had, everything was going well. But then out of nowhere, like chapter 26, I think, happened, and this magical door appeared, and these two fae people appeared. You're my daughter, blah blah blah. Like it was just like, whoa, hold up,
It just went straight left field. So I guess
hold up.
yeah, it did change the I guess I would say the rhythm of the book.
It did. It changed the rhythm, and it changed the mood and the tone of the book quite literally within seconds. And to be completely honest with you, the last like 3 chapters of the book, I couldn't even focus. So I don't even think I have the full like ending of the book, because I could not focus with how left field it was. It just low-key ruined it for me, kind of. And then with that being said too, like I said, it was a good thing that the book was as slow as it was, because it made sense for what the book was. But then seeing how the book ended so abruptly and so different, I feel like I wanted the book to have a little bit more oomph, if that makes sense.
Towards the end.
Just
Or I guess
in
more
general.
of a bigger build-up. Maybe a
Right.
better build-up.
Right. Like I need something else. I have the main course, and it's good. It looks delicious, but I need a little bit of razzle dazzle on top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I think the dessert part wasn't that great.
right.
Which
But other than that, though,
see what you come from. I get what you're coming from. To be honest, I kind of feel the same way. Now, was it enough to knock a whole point on its own? No. At
I
least for
think
me,
so.
anyway.
Yeah, for me personally,
Mm-hmm.
I think so, because it's kind of like I was like talking to Explicit about it. Like the last like 3 or 4 chapters, I had to literally stop what I was doing and make sure I was reading the same book. Like I had to make sure I didn't accidentally like pick up a different book when I came back from like using the restroom or getting more water or something. Like it was that left field. In my personal opinion, I had to literally stop and look at the cover to make sure I was on the correct book, because I was just so lost with how it's like so like sitcom-y, cutesy friendships, relationships, and then
Maury show.
yeah, like I don't know. The only
To
other
me-
thing, well, I'll let you finish, and then I have one more thing.
Okay. For me, on that, I was kind of okay with it. Mostly because at some point, I kind of, in a way, I expected it, because everything was going well so steadily, and for things to go like bad all of a sudden, given the contents of the book, because they're about to lose everything, the entire house, all because of some bitchy front door neighbor.
Oh yeah, I'll talk about her in a fucking minute.
Yeah, being upsetty spaghetti over her uneaten casserole, but you're over here, dogging a dead, great aunt, and to their family member and whatnot. But anyways, I kind of expected something kind of big, and I was assuming that it has to do with the birth parents. I was thinking like, oh, maybe she was actually human, or just a completely different supernatural creature. Because there was no anything. Because they even said in the book that she had no powers as a vampire, because she had presumed that she came from vampires. So typically, they would have something, usually some characteristics, even if it's just a physical thing. At least I would assume. I mean, you know, something
Well, even
like
Eli said whenever he went into his hawk form, even Eli said that she was glowing, but it was a very unusual
aura.
glow.
Yeah, it was something different. And that's what I was thinking. I expected that something of the supernatural was going to happen. Did I expect, a magical Fedor? No. Her actually open a portal somehow? No. But but they kind of use the Fae. I mean, then again, it kind of makes sense because Fae are very mysterious and don't exactly abide by the laws of anything besides their own. But her powers had manifested just kind of suddenly through emotions. But if that was the case, why didn't they like show trickles here and there? A good
Exactly.
build-up, like a really good build-up, was that it just showed out of nowhere. But they would have like, oh, it's because a witch was there. Oh, because something else was there to write it off. But then, as it gets closer to the end, you start to realize, wait a second, these things keep happening, and the only constant thing was her. Which means that she's been developing or whatever she's doing, as she ages her, well, because she was she was kind of like locked. She was like given like a restraint. So a magical restraint was put on her, so her powers were pretty much non-existent. She was stuck as a human. But given that she just somehow broke it enough to cause a power and to create an anchor to the Feywild, Feywild in D&D term, but the Fey world, out of nowhere, being restrained, kind of doesn't make sense, and it does makes a huge left field that changes the tone of the book a bit too much. If they had subtle buildups, like in between, like they were having with the neighbor, because even with the neighbor they had some buildups where she constantly kept getting annoyed by them and coming up and threatening them, and then actually following through with the threat. Now that's a good buildup, or at least a good setup.
Yeah.
There could have been more setup to her abilities, basically popping out for it to make sense, if that makes sense.
No, that does make sense. And I don't know. I agree. Because, I mean, I feel like if we just had any type of build-up or any type of mention, even if it was like a little foreshadowing at the very beginning, that would have made so much more sense than, oh, surprise, I'm here. Like, it didn't work for me personally. And it sucks because I thoroughly, really, really, really enjoyed this book. And
Same here.
now I don't know how I feel about it. But I did have one thing more. I don't appreciate, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word right now. I don't like how overly creepy they made Eli at the very beginning. Like they made Eli so
Creepy.
overly fucking creepy that you're just like, who is this guy? Like, I literally thought he was going to fucking murder her. And then, like, out of nowhere, he's like, oh, do you want to move in? Kind of like, and he's like, oh, I don't want to tell her. And then just magically pays her for the room and then just shows up. Like, nothing ever happened. Like, oh, it's not like you're living a double life or anything. Like, I don't know. It was weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you meant.
I didn't like
He's
it.
supposed to be like the super shy guy. He's like, man, I really like this girl. I'm gonna keep looking, things like that. I'm like, okay, that is a bit stalkerish.
And yet he's in
But
the alleyway, like heavily breathing as she walks to her car. Like, no.
oh, well, that he mostly went to the alleyway probably because he was like, I hope she doesn't see me, because he was even like, please don't notice me. I don't have the mental capacity to face against my crush, sort of thing. That's pretty much how I took it, which made sense given his character and how he
Yeah.
was. I guess it did see there were some creepy moments. I'll be like, dude, you're kind of being a stalker. And the funny part
Yeah.
is, very aware of it too. It's like, I need to stop. I should have stopped this a long time ago. But I'm gonna keep making myself excuses.
Yeah,
Things like
no.
that.
It was weird.
And it was weird, but I guess the best part was that he wasn't actually like a real creep. He was just a very shy and naive guy. I guess.
Yeah. Like he was actually a sweetheart. Like her kind
Yeah.
of breaking his heart at the end, that kind of made me look at her some sort of way because she kind of took everything he said and like blew it so out of proportion, and like she literally overreacted. In my personal opinion, she fully overreacted about the entire situation, and I don't think she should have done him that way. I think he personally was done like incredibly dirty, and that did make
Yeah.
me like very upset. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was very upset.
But at least she did admit that she even admitted to herself or to someone else that like I think I was way too harsh
You
because
think?
yeah, well she said what I'm saying is that she said that,
Well, no,
in
I
the book.
know, but like, you
Yeah.
think? Like,
I know.
bro, like you kind of like you went from literally 0 to like 1,000 within like 2 seconds, and you didn't even give my man a chance to like
Fine. I mean,
defend
sure,
himself.
okay. Okay, so this guy is successful, and for the most part, like, and not because it's successful, because basically this whole premise of the book of the house pretty much is that she gets people who are in need, who has some sort of trouble, who needs a place to stay, pretty much like her. She's gathering liked, situational people.
Yeah.
They have a witch, they have an old man, they have the shifter, which is Eli, and they have a younger kid who came from a troubled home, basically. And another lady as well who just need a place to stay because she wants to roam free,
Yeah.
or have a place where she can be free. And she needed a place like that, and she got lucky, after getting inheritance and whatnot and so forth. But the man was wealthy. He was able to pay for stuff. You know, he didn't necessarily, well, I mean, he kind of wasn't truthful about what he does, but at the same time saying that you're like some really rich guy, designing apps and things like that is successful by any standard, you know automatically puts a lot of people off.
When she
Not to
thought that
mention,
she thought that he was
yeah,
like pitying her, basically.
yeah, it went straight to pitying her. But like, why? At the same time, plus it was also a bunch of miscommunication. She, also in the very beginning when they first meet and he got involved, he was trying to like, um, you know, say thank you to her because she was basically defending him from bullies, and things like that. And he had a memento or like a bracelet from when she was younger, from when she defended him. And he wanted to give it back, but he was like so damn shy, he held on for years. And he holds on to it. Some people find that creepy, some people find that sweet. I think it's sweet because it meant so much to him,
I think
especially for a
it's
guy.
sweet.
I think it's sweet.
I mean,
You
I still
know,
have like, I know you guys don't see it because you don't see like the stuff that's behind my like chair, like where we record. But like I have momentums basically from, you know, before even like Samurai and I were friends. Like it's just like stuff like that. Like stuff like that means a lot to people. And Iris is over here being a cunt McGee.
pretty much. Not to mention there was not really much of an explanation or a chance for him to explain. At the same time, he was not mentally capable of explaining in the first place, so it was just kind of circumstances at this point.
Yeah.
So it was just miscommunication to happen, and they were kind of he's at fault for it too, because he kind of did let it just go off, and
Yeah.
it is what it is.
But
I'm not
also
gonna
in his
sugarcoat it.
defense, he helped a lot around the house. Like he helped a lot.
He did. For someone who pitied that. Okay, cheating is
He
one
even got
thing.
her shitty business. I'm sorry. I'm going to call it what it is. Her website was so bad, nobody wanted to even buy anything from her. And that's really sad. He went out of his way and he spruced up the website so much that she was selling out of her stock. Like
Yeah,
he did a
it it
lot
it
for her.
progressively got better, like fairly quickly. I mean, given that the book like in the world to like a canon of like a month or two, like weeks have passed, you know. But still, that's some very quick growth for like any like home business,
Exactly.
you
He
know.
did a
And
lot for
and
her.
Exactly. And given behind the scenes too, I mean, technically, she wouldn't know. But behind the scenes, he called in favors, he called in things like that. If somebody had like negative thought about them, like pitying that much, it wouldn't go that far. I
Exactly.
thought they would have helped out only the bare minimum,
Probably
and
not
that was it.
even.
At best, bare minimum. It's just there's just no way. So clearly, that wasn't what he was thinking. He wanted to genuinely help her. And she didn't exactly give two thoughts about that because when the moment she found out that he's super filthy rich and successful, and he's over here doing manual labor at the same time to help her out, it's just like, um, some discrepancy here is on your line of thinking there, Iris. You know,
Yeah,
but
I didn't like that at all.
character growth.
Now, the thing is, speaking of character growth and everything, I have to talk about my favorite character.
Mm.
And
I wonder if it's the same one who I think it is, or who is my favorite character.
Henry Dale.
The old man. Yep.
I
Love me some
listen.
Dale. Love me some Dale.
Listen. Listen. This old man. I don't know. Did they ever say how old he was?
I think around his 70s.
Right? He's giving like late 70 vibes, early 80 vibes. This old man is the most stubborn of old men. Just okay. Let me just pause right there. Let me put a pin in that. I told Aqua in the middle of reading it. So Aqua actually finished the book like a day before I finished it, which is very, very shocking. But I was messaging him and I was like, oh my god. Like, I think I know who the love story is about. It didn't end up being about the person I thought it was. The love story was Eli and Iris, but I thought Dale was gonna get a woman. I really thought it was gonna be him.
So that's what you were thinking of.
I thought it was gonna be him, and I thought he was gonna have his last chance to do one more pump before he was done, and it did not work out that way, and I'm actually kind of sad. But he is the sweetest, most stubborn, most hard-headed motherfucker ever, and he is so relatable. Like, you could tell that he was just like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go. But knowing deep down, damn well he wanted to go. He wanted to be included.
Oh yes, he did.
He wanted to be included.
And I love how they did his character. He's very old-fashioned and everything.
Yes.
But not in but in a way to where like, he was paying he still kept his his ideals. But he just adapted to everything else because, he has a certain way of thinking, a certain way of like respect and things like that. And it didn't matter what most of the details were. And if he did something wrong, or, he said something wrong or something like that that was disrespectful, and he was called out for it, he would own up to it because that's how he was raised. He was raised old fashioned. If you're put in your place, you accept it you accept it as it is, and you move on.
And his character, like the way Aqua said that, I couldn't say it better myself. But like, his character was so well written to the point where I wonder if Henry Dale is inspired by possibly Anne's grandfather.
That would be pretty cool. A nice little homage to family.
Right, because I don't think you can write. I mean, unless you're just really, really good, like you're an amazing author, obviously, but I don't think you can write a character that well unless you know someone in person that, like
a basis for it.
Yeah. I really, really...
It could be a little bit of both. Who knows?
But then, actually, I know I hated her, and I wouldn't call her my favorite character, but she was probably my favorite, I guess, side story. But that was Susan, the bitch neighbor.
Oh, really?
I loved everything about bitch Susan. I loved everything about it. Now, I hated her with a passion. I find her so overly annoying. But anytime you watch those like movies, I'm thinking more of like the older movies, like maybe like the 50s or 60s, or like, you know, The Help, or like fucking oh my god, any of them where you have like the prissy middle-aged white women with like the curly blonde hair, the one that wear the heels even if they're only watering their lawn. Like, you know the woman. I know you guys know
The
the
Karen,
woman I
basically.
am talking about. Like the Karen, but like not like the nowadays Karen. Like I pictured her as like an, how do I say this? Like a seasoned Karen. I don't know.
Mhm.
But the way that her character was made up and the way that her character was described and the verbiage, like all of it was like 10 out of 10. I absolutely loved her character development. Even though she is a horrible witch,
She was
I
made. She was made very well.
she was made for us to hate her, and I hate her just as she was intended for me to do. Like that is so well done.
Oh yeah. You know what? I agree with that. They made a character to hate, and they did a damn good job of doing it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Oh man.
I
I
don't
was not
know.
expecting. I was not expecting the Susan route, but but putting it that way, you have a very good point.
I mean, like literally, that was I feel like that was Susan's main role for being a character in this book, was to just get under your skin, rile you up, and piss you off. And she did that. And I don't know. I just think it was so well done. Like her character was absolutely phenomenal. 100%. I loved her character. Hands down.
Mm. Putting it that way, yeah, I can agree.
Now, if she starts going back to her house and gets hit by a car, I wouldn't be upset about it, but
I'll be just like, damn, that's rough. All right, next.
right?
Mm-hmm. Oh no, Truck Coon. You took out another one.
Oh
This time was a
no.
good thing.
Oh my
Oh man.
god. But no, like
But yeah.
this book was really good. Mainly the entirety of this book was her getting all of her roomies together, and they started painting the different rooms. They were fixing stuff here and there. Oh, I have hiccups. Have y'all noticed I get hiccups every single podcast? It's horrible. I hate it. 10 out of 10 do not recommend.
I think it's because you rush dinner right before podcast, like almost every time. Totally not calling you out.
Listen, I'm a very punctual person. It is not my fault. Dinner and prep are not punctual things, okay? I say it's going to be done in 30 minutes. Something goes wrong, and now it's 42 minutes later, and now I'm running late. So then I only give myself 5 minutes to scarf down a whole ass meal. And then you wonder why I feel sick the entire...
Oh man. If we need to, we just start these a little bit later.
No, it's fine. Mama didn't raise no bitch. If y'all also didn't know, for the newer people, Aqua and I have known each other for...
A long ass time. I
God
kind of
damn.
lost track over the years, to be honest. It's
I-
definitely more than 15 years.
Damn. Hold on. $17 years? Almost
17 years?
18?
Yeah, sounds about right. We can definitely say for sure more than 15 years.
I mean, at this point, we literally just lie and say we've known each other for about 20 years. It's the only thing that it's almost 18 years. So he knows.
Yeah. So we've known each other for quite a while.
Yeah. So he knows, like, when I say I'm punctual, I am, like, if I say I'm going to show up at 9 o'clock,
punctual.
I'm there at, like, 8:45.
Pretty much.
And then I'm
Even in
like, where
class
are you?
too, because we were in high school together. So even in class, and when we had like the 1 or 2 classes together, yeah, I was never late thanks to you.
Oh, whatever. But yeah,
Uh,
this book.
but yes, back to book. It was a good book. I loved it. I love
It
the characters.
was.
Every character, like I think I mentioned it to you already, but every character I practically have met and seen like IRL, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like I have met every single one of them IRL. They are completely like real people that if you were to read the book and just like pay attention to how the characters are, at some point you have met a version of them.
I feel like Iris and
One way
I
or another.
are like fairly similar.
I can see that. Both have ADD. um, uh,
I'm eating
both have
ice.
ADD. Point number one. Oh man. But yeah, but no, but all
When
the
I laughed,
characters.
did y'all just hear me crunch on that ice? Be honest.
I think
Continue.
my headset was just too low, so I didn't hear it. So I just have to. Those of you who hear it on YouTube are just gonna have to enjoy the sounds without me, as I'm over here chewing gum too at the same time because I started eating my Mexican gum that I stole from my aunt's house. No regrets. But yeah, no. Back to the characters. Definitely relatable. You have met them or will meet those type of people at some point. And it's not in a bad way. Like these are just regular Joes. Like no one was overly different besides some of them, being supernatural. Like one of them was a witch, one was a shifter. If you took that part out, you have met these type of people one way or another. Whether you're gonna like them or not, it's a whole different story because that's just your personality. But the point is, they are like very, like, like naturally written people, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Like there's nothing extra. There's nothing so unique besides their supernaturalness. If you took it out, they're just like any other person you probably would have met on the streets.
No, exactly. And I think that, I mean, obviously that's the author's doing. Like, you can read any book, you're like, oh, she was sweet, or oh, blah. But, like, if you can actually look at, like, you can read this book and you can look at each individual character and be like, man, that's my brother, or man, that's my best friend, or oh my god, my coworker is just like that. Like, you don't get that
Exactly.
in every book. Like, it was such a unique experience. My tongue is numb, by the way. Some of these words are so hard when your tongue is numb from ice.
You should stop chewing on ice.
I only
For
have
now,
one
at least.
left.
Oh my gosh.
I have an iron deficiency.
Oh,
But no,
man.
so, I'm gonna really upset Aqua here, and I'm so sorry. Okay, if we leave the ending of the book out, right? If we completely leave the ending of the book out where the door pops up, the Fae realm pops up, the Fae come out, ignore all of that. Genuinely, I'm leaning more towards like a 4.25 in the book.
Wow.
It wasn't quite a 4.5. It was kind of bland, but it was a good type of bland. Like, I can't say sitcom enough. Like, it was kind of like watching a movie, but like reading it, if that makes sense. So it was like a 4.25. Like, I would definitely go back and watch this movie again. Or I would recommend, like, the book to someone. But, like, not to the point of, like, oh, like, if we're still doing it, like, movie-wise, oh, this movie isn't, like, memorable, but it's enough to, like, leave an impression on me, if that makes sense. But then the ending came out, and I'm just like, okay, I'm over here rolling my eyes. I'm over here like, this just doesn't make any sense anymore. I had to drop it. My new rating, I believe, is a 3-star. I want to be nice and give it a 3.5, so I think I'm gonna stick with the 3.5. but the ending, me personally, was not it. I do not recommend it. Like, I would literally tell someone to read this book, but stop at like chapter 25. But then at that point, they're already going to finish it because there's only 3 chapters left. But it's just,
Yeah.
the ending was not it. So I'm going to personally say, I'm going to be nice because the book was amazing. I'm going to say 3.5 stars.
3.5. I'm going for my minimum is a 3.5. I think I'm going with a soft 4. And the reason why I say that is because, like I mentioned about the buildup with her powers, that is part of the discrepancy. That and I kind of want more of the supernatural thing. I mean, they did put it. They weren't like making like overly crazy because it's just in the regular world with this in there mixed in. So it's kind of a mixed feeling because I wanted more of the supernatural stuff, but if it did, it would take away from its like grounded to reality in a way,
Right. Mm-hmm.
which I really liked about the book, which is why it made me rate it at a hard 3.5 and a soft 4 because I wanted more. And I just wanted a little
Right.
better build up to the whole magic part or the Fae part specifically. Like I said, if there was a little more like hint here and there that it was poking out, but just brushed off as something else, that would have been fine. Very cliche-ish, sure, but it would have. I felt like it would have made the Fae part make more sense versus just being so sudden. Sure,
Right.
there's things about like random chance and just just good fortune finally hitting somebody. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it is very left field, which for me personally is fine. I was kind of more or less expecting it for the most part. Was I expecting the Fae? No. And now that I think about it, I think I mentioned it to you too as well on Discord like at some point like yesterday or 2 days ago when you had mentioned about the ending that they actually did foreshadow it, but like as a joke because when they found out that she was not vampiric and that what was it, Eli was making suggestions, oh, maybe you switched at birth, or maybe they made a mistake at the hospital, you should sue them,
Yeah.
or maybe it was some political issue, between families, and you were just switched on purpose. Turns out that's what it was. She was
Yeah.
switched on purpose because basically she got Romeo and Juliet. It was a Romeo and Juliet situation. That's pretty much what it was. And it was funny because I believe it was the female-ish um, progenitor, or I guess mother, so to speak. Their family was like, no, 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 don't like this, because it was like Romeo and Juliet. Both families do not like each other. They had a forbidden love. Um, the child was taken away to a bunch of asshole vampires, except for one.
Oh my god.
And that
Yeah.
And so yeah, and that's what I thought was funny. They literally just, you know, they just said it. They said it outright of what it was, but they said it casually. And then when I remembered that part, I was like, huh, that's actually really funny. And it made me like the ending a little bit more. It was gonna stay at a 3.5, but when that happened, I was like, are you serious? That is one incredibly convenient, but it wasn't like shoved in my face, so it makes it subtle. So I'm like, you know what? In my book, that gets the extra points. But it will not be a 5 because again, more with the Fae, the spilling of magic, and I want it more around the world. Sure, it's about them and in their house and all, but I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have a little bit more.
Right.
But that's just me. I'm just a greedy guy.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah. I
But
just I'm still on the same spot. Like mine is a at most 3.5. Like maybe a 3. We'll go with 3.5, but I just feel like this book I wanted more. I wanted there to be something. I would have preferred personally This book was, like I said, almost 400 pages long. I would have been okay with this book being an 900 page book if it gave us everything we had at the beginning, then built up whatever it needed to build up, and then for us to have a little bit more descriptive ending of what it already was. I would have been okay with that. That probably would have been like a 4.5, maybe a 5-star read if they executed it well enough.
Yeah,
I
think that's fair.
feel like the author spent all of her time building up all of these friendships and relationships, and then was like, fuck. Like, I always hate saying this because it sounds so disrespectful, and I don't mean it the way it sounds, but she spent all this time building up all of these relationships, and in my mind, it's like, fuck. I don't know how to end this, so I'm just gonna do it. That's the vibe I got from it, and it kind of makes me sad because it was such a wonderful book. Like, by all means, if you're like, don't think I'm shitting on the book. Please do not think I'm shitting on it, because I thoroughly, really, really, really loved this book. Just not the last 3 chapters.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree. If there was more time spent, and like I said, not trying to make it sound as, horrible as it is, I just we say it because we just want more.
Right. Like, I
We just
would
want
be
more.
okay if there was a sequel.
Oh yeah.
I would
And
be. I would read that.
I think I found out it's part of like like a series, I think,
Oh,
about the
interesting.
Fix-It Witches. It's about the Fix-It Witches, which does makes his debut, it does make his debut because apparently this is the 4th book of a series of the Fix-It Witches series, and that this one is actually a standalone, from what I'm understanding.
Interesting. Okay, hold
So
on.
technically, what we read was a extension of the world itself, of what it was built in.
The what sisters?
Fix-It Witches.
How do you say it slower?
Fix-It.
Like you're
Witches.
fixing something?
Yes, like you're fixing something.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Boss Witch. And then you have Witch Please. And then you have Extra Witchy. Okay, those titles alone, the Witch Please, 10 out of 10.
Title ratings.
Wow.
But yeah.
Damn, you
So
like the book so much you dope dive into it?
Well, to be honest, I was looking up because I was trying to remember a name, and I couldn't remember the name, and I found this, and I found that information.
Witch Please is actually book number 1. It's actually around the exact same length as this book. They actually all are the same length. Interesting.
So yeah, so listeners, might be a good chance that you might get to hear us review the rest of the series. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm definitely down for it, that's for sure.
Wow. Out of curiosity, but like overall it's the same rating. Overall, Witch Please has a 3.39 rating.
Well, this one's much later, so who knows? This one could probably be the highlight. But
right.
who knows? Who knows?
I know, I'd be down.
That's their rating, yeah.
I'm down for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for it. But yeah, you learn something new every day.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. That is insane. But honestly, if you take anything from this book, though, please read it. It was a very, very fun read. It will keep you hooked. It'll keep you entertained. I mean, we said it so many times, and you're probably so sick of us. saying it, but they are so relatable, and I really,
They
really
are.
do think that you're going to find someone in this book to relate to the absolute most, and it's going to make it worthwhile.
Most definitely.
So I personally say read it.
Yeah. I mean, sure, we have, we read it, we review it, we have our opinions. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't, give it a chance. But this book, definitely give it a shot. I still keep my rating for what it is. A nice, good, soft 4. I know you got a 3.5.
Well, and then that's the thing too. That's something that resonated with me a little bit too. You mentioned that this is because, we say it every time, Aqua mainly only does audiobooks.
Yeah.
You said that this is an audiobook that you're going to keep around for a while.
Oh yeah.
That resonated a lot with me.
I just really enjoyed it. Like, if I want to read something that's like, one, it's very light. Two, it's very, like I said, very relatable. And three, it's just an easy thing to listen to. It's not
Yeah.
bad. It's not overly complicated. It's not crazy. It's just something you can relax by, and I do like those type of books. It's just, for me, it was just relaxing to read, or well,
Yeah.
I guess to listen to. This is definitely one of the books that I would keep. That and my neighbor's a vampire,
My roommate.
or my roommate's a vampire.
Yeah.
Oh my god, still love that book.
Yeah, no, we're definitely going to read the second one because that book. So, if you guys are brand new here, which I know we're going to get some newer people, as you can tell, Aqua and I do not hand out 5 stars unless it's absolutely given or like it deserves it. So far on this channel, we only have 3 5 stars, 2 of which are from the Akatar series.
Yep.
Well, okay, let's
And we
just say
have,
all of Akatar is 5 star. Let's just say, okay, so let's be
pretty
fair.
much.
Akatar's
Yeah.
5 star, and then my
Hands
roommate is a
down.
vampire is 5 star. So we only
Pretty
have
much.
2 5 stars on this channel so far. So when we actually recorded it, so it uploaded a few weeks ago. Like as you guys are seeing this, but it uploaded a few weeks ago. Go back, please watch it. Go read that book too. Like, go read that book. Like,
Oh, yeah.
or else.
And just be prepared for what the book's supposed to be. Just, it'll make sense.
Watch
Just,
that video if you
know.
don't understand. But yeah.
Yeah, watch
But-
the video first and then read the book. It'll make sense.
But as far as this one goes, I don't know. I wish there was like, I want to keep talking about it, but I've said it multiple times. The book is very slow. Not in a bad
Yeah.
way, but the book is very slow. There's not really much else to talk about. I mean,
I mean, we pretty much covered the whole book without just literally giving out the entire synopsis.
exactly.
But yeah, it's a very fun read. Give it a shot. You'll definitely find someone relatable. Or if not, you'll know that they're relatable.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. This
that's
actually
good.
wasn't. I thought we've only been talking for about 5 minutes. Turns out it's been an hour. So
Really, it doesn't even feel like an hour. To be
yeah,
honest.
we've been here for an hour. So I kind of felt bad because I was like, man, there's really not much to talk about. But surprisingly,
Here we are. 1
here we
hour
are.
later.
So Aqua, would
Yes.
you recommend this book to just
Oh, hell
some
yeah.
random person on the street?
Yep. In fact, when I leave here, I'm gonna go outside and go to my neighbors and chunk the book at them.
Do it. Hit him
Or
on
do
the
it.
head. Record it. Post it.
Yep. Then I'm
Go
gonna start
viral.
calling. I'm gonna start calling it from jail. Oh, I got sent to jail for battery. No, my luck. But yeah,
Hey
no,
Bloom.
I definitely recommend this.
Bloom, if you still want to sponsor us, I will take the sponsorship. Okay, that's all I
And,
wanted to say.
I mean, we'll take
And
any
Taco
sponsorship
Bell.
at this point. Yeah. Ooh, definitely Taco Bell or Dutch Bros. Dutch Bros.
Oh, Dutch Bros. Hi.
Ooh, Black Rifle Coffee. Hey yo.
I don't have one near me though.
Oh, it's so good. I actually went to go get some too today.
I'm making coffee at home now. Way cheaper. Tastes just like Starbucks. 2 shots of blonde espresso. Really good. Anyway, I digress. But I think all together for my coffee, it was like maybe $25. Okay, if you're counting the cups that I use, it's like $35 for 50 cups of coffee.
That's not bad at all.
No, because 1 cup of coffee from Starbucks is like $9. So do the math.
Yeah.
This is already way better.
I did make myself a new drink. So you get like the can of like the double espresso energy drink, and then you get the chocolate like the chocolate cream cold brew, but just the foam, the chocolate foam.
Ooh.
So you put the chocolate foam at the bottom. And you tell them to fill it up as much as they can, right? You take that energy drink, the Starbucks espresso energy drink, whatever, the can. I got the vanilla one, and I just pour it in there, and it has the sweetness from the foam and the bitterness from the energy drink, because it has the energy drink like tart taste to it. So mix it in with the actual like the sweetness from it. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty damn good.
I love that. So I actually have a new drink myself too. The viewers are like, what does this have to do about books? Because shut your mouth. That is what it has to do. So
Look, when you read books, having a cup of coffee with you just makes everything better.
yeah.
It's just facts, you know.
My brain stopped. Oh, so the drink. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, I'm on like this whole like healthcare journey thingy where I'm basically going on a journey, eating healthy, doing everything I can to better my lifestyle. Anywho, I have discovered there's a thing called like Core Life, I think. It's like white. It's like a 46 gram of protein shake type thing with a cow on it. You'll know it if you see it. Anyway, if you get right, if you get a Diet Dr. Pepper, a Diet Dr. Pepper has 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and you get half of that Core Life or whatever it's called. You pour half of it in there. It fills it all the way up. You get 23 grams of protein, and it tastes just like a Dr. Pepper float. It tastes like you're drinking ice cream.
Ooh.
So you get no sugar, but you get the sweet tooth craving, and they knock it to the side because you're literally drinking something, and you get the soda, so you're already getting the sensation that you're drinking something you shouldn't have, even though it's something that you can have. Like, they always try and say all soda's bad. Not all soda's bad. Yes, you probably shouldn't be drinking soda, but not everyone is perfect. It's not that fucking serious. All those gym nuts, get out of your fucking head. It's fine. Let people do what works for them. And if that is what works for you, go get it and go try it. Because I had 2 this week, and I'm thinking about going to get one after this podcast because it is so good. And I have still lost almost 14 pounds this week.
Hey.
Or I guess this month. So
nice.
Suck it, gym nuts.
Look, everything's good in moderation. Or
It
done
is.
properly. Or both. Typically both.
Agreed.
Well, that was our health portion of the podcast. We would eventually, we'll just occasionally put these in there. So, hey, stick around. Who knows what you'll get?
Right, because I mean, we kind of... Oh, I have hiccups again.
We
Oh
both
my
have
God.
like a form of ADD or something like that, something or other. So it'll just happen at some point, whether we want to or not. It just does. So it'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I always say stick around anyway, because I mean, if you're here listening to a podcast, what better things do you have to be doing with your time? I'm just being honest with you.
Exactly. But that's okay
Well,
because we love you for it.
I guess I'll use this to possibly announce something. Please
Ooh.
keep an eye out here at Night Court Narrative. We are working on getting our podcast on Spotify. So, keep an eye out.
Boy.
And
Oh, I did not know this. This is all a total instant reaction. Yeah.
oh yeah, Aqua kind of didn't know this. I have been working in
Yeah,
the background to get the podcast on there. So, eventually,
you might find us on Spotify.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're famous.
Oh my god, yes. Thanks to that one viewer who always watches us.
Oh my
You're the
God.
real MVP. You're the
Oh,
real
you're
MVP, bro.
amazing.
You're the best. Anyway. Crying aside, we're gonna cry later. Don't worry. We're gonna cry in the shower.
Ugh. Out of the shower, in the shower. Why just limit it to one? It's fine.
Because I am a busy man doing absolutely nothing.
Facts.
Facts.
But yeah. Well, I am Elvish.
And I'm Aqua.
That's Violet. None of you guys said hi to her today, and I am
How
very
dare you.
offended.
Very offended. Violet's gonna
now,
go violence after this.
right?
Thanks, guys.
Like,
Thanks.
all of you should be ashamed of yourselves. Not
You
us
should
accidentally
comment hi
forgetting
down
to like,
below.
right? Like,
to
not
make
us
up for it.
accidentally forgetting. So be sure to
Mhm.
say hi to Violet.
It was your turn this time, viewers, okay? It was your turn. Alright,
Like-
should have done this.
We asked you to do one thing, and like you had one job.
Say hi to our cat, damn it.
I forgot to say hi to her this morning, or this morning? No. When we started this podcast. I'm so sorry. Hi, Violet.
It's morning somewhere.
Anywho, oh my God. Well, as always, this has been Night Court Narrative. We are officially 2 weeks away from Halloween.
Woohoo!
I cannot wait for y'all to see what we have for Halloween. But yeah.
I think the day the upload with the little surprise is also the day when I'm gonna be streaming it too, probably. I don't know yet. My stream schedule is still way off right now.
Oh, you're gonna be streaming the podcast?
I'm probably not the podcast.
Yeah, the same day. Yeah. I understand.
Yeah, you caught when I'm cooking.
I
You smell,
understand now.
you smell what I'm putting down. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to smell it, but I do. I smell something.
There we go. See? That's all that matters.
But yeah, we will
Oh,
see
man.
you next week as we near the end of our spoopy season, and then we get ready for our nice holiday season. So we will see you
Yeah,
guys
and
next week.
wait.
Yeah.
The Mariah Carey is almost free, guys. You know, take care. Be careful.
And if anyone asks you an open-ended question anytime this week, just be sure to answer it like Aqua. Okay.
Huh?